Hi everyone, and thanks for hanging out with Big Paulie today. I had a request to do a video on my 1953 VMC 33 original Coke machine, so I thought we'd take a look at it and I'll explain a little bit about it, and they want to know how I got the new style Coke bottles to work in this old machine in Vinright. So we'll go over that and I'll show you how I had to make shims to make the smaller bottles work in the old machine. So we'll go over here and we'll take a look at the machine. The VMC 33 model, it started from 1952 to 1955. In the early models, the 1952 and 53 have a split front aluminum door, and in 54 this door was solid, just one piece that opened up instead of being split. It replaced the 27 and the 27A, and I believe there was another one. And the difference is the 27 will hold 27 bottles, the 33 holds 33 bottles. So we'll open this up. You got your bottle cap tray that holds the bottle caps once you open it. Didn't show you, but the original bottle opener's here. So when we open it up, you see the drum here, and this drum will hold 27 bottles. And what makes it a 33, you have 3 bottles on each side here to make up that other 6. Down below is a storage area that you can keep more of your Cokes in here to stay cool, so once you run out, when you reload it, it's already cool and ready to go. In the early 1952 models, it didn't have this metal sheet in here like that, it was just painted red. In 53, they added that. And if you wanted to make sure what your model is, on the 52 and 53s, there is a serial tag on the compressor that you can get down to and look at it. And if it's an original, it'll tell you what year that compressor was. And that's how you'll know for sure if it was a 52 or 53. It's a little bit more difficult. In the 54 and 55s, they were numbered a little bit different than that. So in order to get these bottles to work right, I was first having a hard time, because if we look at a new bottle compared to an older one here from the 40s and the 50s, you can see there's quite a bit difference in size. The glass in the new ones are a lot thinner and not nearly as thick as these old bottles, or as tall when it's sitting flat in there. So a lot of people say you can run this machine on the new ones without modifying it, and you can if you only load in 1 bottle and not 2. So the problem I was having, if I loaded in the extras, they would come down and would jam right in here where the mechanism wouldn't turn. And if you had stacked 2 at a time, once it came up here, it would also get jammed in here where it wouldn't want to bend. So in order to conquer that, what I did, I made shims on the bottom of each one of these drums. You can kind of see in here, and I'll show you how I did that. And then right in here, and back in the back here, I made another shim that it's placed in the back and gradually works up. So as the bottle works its way up in the very back of the machine, it has a little metal guide that'll catch the top of this and rolls it up to get it up here into this position high. So as this one bends and falls down, that one goes up and continues the loop to go through. So it's 100% mechanical. So I'll show you how it works real quick. So if you put your dime in here, that unlocks your lever, push down, it spins that wheel, drops that soda we just had, comes out, handle up, we're ready to go. You have your opener there, you can pop the top, and then it catches the empties. Or not the empties, but the bottle cap. You can see how that went from here, then this is empty now. So we will reload that. So next I will show you how I made those shims. So we'll go over and I'll show you how I made the shims and how I conquered the problem I had with that not venting properly. Okay, so how I made these shims. I started with the Timber Wolf composite horseshoe shims. This is the tag, what it looks like, and later I'll do a close-up of it all. And they're adjustable. You can break it off from 2-inch all the way to 4-inch. And what I did is I left them the full length, but on each side I just broke one tab off of one side. And why I did that is when I put them together and glue them together, that they make one square here, and that fits perfect. The width and everything in the slot where the sodas will sit on top of it. So what I found out, that about 4 of these shims stacked on top of each other is about the right distance between the new Cokes and the old Cokes. So what you do is you need 4 on each side. So you stack up 4 and 4. I've already glued 4 together here, 4 together here. After you get those 4 glued together, and I just used Elmer rubber cement glue, and then you just place them in the middle together like this, and they will flex a little bit. Push it in. If I get it the right side on. And there you go. So just like that is one pad ready to go into your soda machine, and that's your shim. What I did do, if I wanted that edge a little bit cleaner, I took my Dremel tool and I just flattened that out. And then after I made one for each one of those 27, I took alien tape and I put a strip here and a strip here, so it covered right in the middle of these seams. Cut to length, put it right on, and it's been on there 2 years with no problems at all. And that's just how easy it is to make those shims. So to make it again, I have 2 that I haven't broken off yet. And all you do is just take that little tab, break it off, find one end, break it. Do the same for the other. Break off one. You can glue 4 together like this. When you do glue it, I suggest doing 1 at a time. So when you match it up, you know it's going the right way. On number 4, you don't do the top. After you have 4 of each, then you just stick them together where that's nice and even like that, and apply your tape. And then you will have your shims ready to go. And I can show you how to do 4 real fast here. And all I do is a little bit of rubber cement. And I use the alien tape on the inside of my machine because it's original, and I didn't want anything that might hurt my machine later if I wanted to take it off, or if I needed to work on it, or if something was wrong. And to me that was just an easy solution. You could probably rubber cement them in there, but then later if you had a problem or need to take it out, it'd be a lot of cleaning and possibility of taking off any of your original coating that's on there. So for my choice, this was just the best way to do it. And when you put those on, just make sure you're aligning everything up nice and straight as you can. So when you do put your other side on, you know you're not going to have any issues. But these shims do flex a little bit, so it does give you a little bit of play. And if some of these edges don't break off straight, if you have 0 clearance dikes, it'll cut that off really nice. And that's all I had to do, just like that. I'll make sure they're lined up, set to the side, and let it dry. And that's how I made my shims after I had 2 sets and placed them together. And I'll show you here what I've written down and how I made those shims on this half right here. If we look at the bottom here, I'll show you how I start to make the shim in the back that lifts up that bottle on the top side to make your sodas go over the top to continue, so you can have 2 rows. So on this one, it took me a little bit to figure out. It's kind of tricky, but not too difficult. So what's going to take is a total of 4 shims. And what you do, you take those shims and you will break them all the way off till they're just this U shape. So you're going to need 3 of them like this. And your 4th one, you're going to break in half. What I do, I fold it even till I get a seam there. And then I just take those zero clearance dikes and cut it in half. But I'm sure you could break it or whatever you need to do to cut it. So when you get done with that, you're going to end up with pieces that look like this right here. So those are going to be your pieces. And I ordered them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for you, so you can kind of get an idea as I place these to see which way it goes. It's important how you start in which direction here. Maybe I'll turn that towards the camera and see if I can put this together in reverse to try to make it easier for you. So if you start with this piece facing you in that direction, that'll be your number 1. Number 2 will sit in the middle. So you're starting in this position with 2. Number 3 is going to go right here, so we're making a stairway up. Number 4 is going to go in this middle, and you're going to glue these in order with your rubber cement. And then number 4 is going to go at the end right here. And that's going to make that stairway going up. So that's going to be your highest point. So as the end of the bottle rolls up on the new ones, because it's rolling in that machine like this, it's going to catch this, and as it goes up, it's going to lift this higher to catch the very back rail that's going to catch this lip here, and then roll that over the top. And that's what you want. So you start with those 2 like this. We'll take our rubber cement. This one was a little trickier when I did it the first time, but it's all doable if you're patient. We line up our second one there. Third one's going to go right in that hole as a filler. I got everything square, nice and even. And then our last piece is just going to be this edge here on this last one. And I put a little bit of glue in here, kind of hoping it'll help hold it together a little bit better. And I'll line that up on that edge. Give a little pressure, and then let that sit, and we'll let that set for a while till it gets hard, and that'll be that little stairway there showing you where that ledge will be. So we'll go back, I'll open up the machine, pull out some bottles and get a flashlight and try to show you where I placed that this wedge at in there, and maybe we'll be able to see that rail in the back and give you an idea what that looks like. Okay, we'll open up the machine again. We will show you where that shim is in the back, and possibly that rail, if we can get a good enough view of it. It's right underneath where these bottles sit. So if we look in here, you can see the shims I made and how they cover edge to edge inside of my machine here. And then right here is that little wedge we're making for the bottles to go up. And if you look in the very back, you can see that silver piece of metal going up. That catches the top of the bottle cap that rolls this bottle up. It'll catch the top of that and roll it up. If you don't have that shim there, the new bottles aren't tall enough, they're high enough to catch that, and they try to go underneath, you have two bottles trying to go, and it'll jam up and won't go through. But if you put that wedge in there like that, you'll have no problem. Anyways, I hope that's helpful. And if you have a machine like this, hopefully you'll get her going and running right. All right, we'll get these bottles back in there. You'll notice one will go underneath. It'll push this, and you have that lever going up. So we'll go underneath there. This one will go on top. And what that does, right here you see this little flap that hits this button. And this button, when it hits, will tell you right here if you're out of Coca Cola or not. So we'll button her up. We'll get us a Coke. And once again, thanks for hanging out with Big Paulie, and I hope you have a wonderful time. And we'll get you in the next video.